Welcome to Modern Musings, conversations with the maiden, mother, and crone, where we look at ourselves and the world through the lens of the 21st century. Hi, and welcome back. I'm your hostess, Cindy, and I'm here with my two co-hosts, Amber Jones and Kristen Hessler.
Hello.
Hello.
And this week, we are talking about Hogwarts houses. Everybody who loves Harry Potter has at some point taken a quiz to determine which Hogwarts house they belong to. I've taken many of these quizzes, and it's still undecided. So we're going to talk about some of the quizzes. We're going to talk about some of the questions, and just kind of see where we go from there. So we started out with the questions at wizardingworld.com, which used to be called
Pottermore, I believe.
Pottermore, yes, I believe that's what it was. And so we took the quiz there, and I was maybe disappointed that I was Ravenclaw. I always want to be Gryffindor because I admire the Gryffindor students as being brave and daring and doing the right thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not really disappointed in Ravenclaw because the answers that it gave me said that it was because of wit, learning, and wisdom. And I'm okay with that too, because the Ravenclaw kids are pretty smart. So what did you guys pull up on that one?
Oddly enough, and maybe I have gotten this answer in the past, but I got Ravenclaw as well.
Oh, well, okay. We're both Sagittarius, and we both have...
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. And Kristen, what about you?
So on the Wizarding World, I got Gryffindor, which was interesting because on the other quizzes, I generally don't get Gryffindor.
No, you don't. Yeah.
So
well,
I was actually kind of surprised in that one, but I did like the quizzes that they had on the website. Those were fun.
They actually had additional quizzes there. I took
like what kind of wand you would get,
or what was your Patronus. I was kind of disappointed in some of the questions though. It felt very limited to me. I felt like there should be more questions. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's essentially a personality quiz because all four houses at Hogwarts have like these certain personality traits that the sorting hat looks for.
Right, but some of the questions, it was so, especially if it's one where you could choose more than one, where you might choose more than one answer.
Yeah.
And, like this is
possible. Yeah, it wasn't really
a
personality test.
So it wasn't. There weren't
Yeah.
enough questions that you had to answer, like, 10 questions about school ethics or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
There was so few questions. I think it
Yeah.
really didn't shift things out very well.
Well,
I don't think.
I feel like some of the questions are also like, well, that one's clearly Slytherin.
You know
if you
what the
pick
question
that
is,
one.
right?
Yeah, so if you pick a snake, you're gonna get Slytherin.
Well, and like
whatever.
when it was talking about the Patronus, there was like only a handful of possibilities on the Patronus quiz.
Yeah.
And then I got a field mouse. And I'm like, what is a field mouse gonna do?
Yeah, I got a
don't know.
horse, which is weird because I don't like. Well, I mean, I like horses. I guess
I don't
but
like mice.
You're not like a horse lady.
Yeah, I don't go near horses and pet them.
But
and
I
I'm
think
like,
that's
oh,
the
horses.
problem of the limitation.
Yeah.
There was only a few. There wasn't, like if there's only 5 or 10 questions, and there's only 6 possible
Animals to
answers
choose
or
from,
4
yeah.
possible answers, then it's going to sort you into one of these, and why choose those specific ones? I don't know. So it was kind of weird to me. The wand quiz was a little more interesting because there was a lot of variations in the wand. There were different wand lengths. There was different wand wood.
Yeah,
and then there was the strand,
what they put in the unicorn hair, phoenix feather.
Now that website, the Pottermore, the Wizarding World, that one is actually, I believe, sponsored by J.K. Rowling and and all that stuff. So it is technically the official page. And I did take the wand quiz on there, and I got maple with a unicorn center, and then 10 3/4 inches. So, but it talked about the difference in the kinds of wand, what the different kind of woods did, and different things like that. And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
And
The
it
wand
also
chooses the wizard, Harry.
and it and then it has you set up a profile and all that. But it, like I said, it wants you to make a profile, and there's a lot of information on there. And so for those of you who are maybe less familiar with Harry Potter or whatever, why don't y'all help me out here? Kind of explain what we're doing. We're talking about a boarding school. We'll start at the very basics here. For somebody, there are people who have never watched Harry Potter, believe it or not, or read the books.
Yeah.
So it's a boarding school. It's a wizarding boarding school
Where you go to learn magic.
and there are 4 houses, which are factions within the school.
Yeah, that when you're a first year student, you go in and you have to put on this ancient hat called the sorting hat.
On the first day, like
On the
upon
very
arrival,
first
there's
day,
like a big dinner.
And they sort you into your house.
The magical hat like sits on top of your head and like reads into your
reads your
personality.
mind, yeah, and it reads your personality traits and decides which house you fit.
When you called it factions, this is just like a side note. I was thinking Veronica Roth really leaned heavily on Harry Potter when she wrote the Divergent books and the factions and stuff like that.
I mean, that's a common theme in a lot of
that's true, in a lot of sci-fi,
because that introduces the that tension in a storyline of having factions.
Okay, so the sorting hat, it when it goes on your head, it takes like everything that's in your head, and it kind of sorts you based on your personality or like the things that you value the most.
Right. And so Kristen, I think, pulled up a list of those traits by house.
So there's the 4 houses are Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. Gryffindor values bravery, helping others, and chivalry. Hufflepuff values are hard work, patience, loyalty, and fair play. Ravenclaw values intelligence, knowledge, planning ahead, and wit. And Slytherin values ambition, cunningness, heritage, and resourcefulness.
So, depending on what your personality is, you could fit probably in, you might be able to fit in more than one. But
I know, I was just thinking, like, it's interesting that Hermione was in Gryffindor because she
valued learning
knowledge.
and wisdom and stuff like that. Yeah.
But it maybe that it detected that her bravery was
bravery
stronger,
and determination.
were stronger, and so it put her.
Well, they wanted the Sorting Hat wanted to put Harry Potter in Slytherin.
This is true.
And he chose Gryffindor.
He said not Slytherin, not So, and this is for those of you who have not, we're not trying to dumb this down for those of you who are familiar with Harry Potter. We're just adding this in for the few people who probably have not or don't have as much knowledge. So anyway, we did these tests and we found out that Amber and I both fit into Ravenclaw according to the official website, and Kristen fit into
for the
you were in Gryffindor.
For the Pottermore website.
Yes, which is not Pottermore anymore.
Yeah. That one I did get Gryffindor, which I was really surprised. But I mean, I do feel good when I help other people, but it's,
Well, and that's why I say sometimes your personality traits, even with the Enneagram, you might have more than one trait. Yeah, we talked about this on a previous episode that you might have multiple traits that you lean towards.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that doesn't mean that you are definitely, you don't have to be definitely one or definitely the
Well,
other.
it's the same with Myers-Briggs. Like, you could take the
Yes.
personality test and lean towards one thing one day and then another thing another day.
Right.
Like, a lot of these tests are like what you're feeling
and
at
they're
the
very
moment when you
subjective.
answer them.
They're
Yeah.
very subjective. So, yeah. And like taking the Myers-Briggs, you're not going to go from one to completely the opposite probably, but
Yeah.
you might have one of your letters flip or something like that. So, and just that small change is enough in a 4-faction answer. That's 1 or 2 questions is enough to shift you into another house. Just to be fair, because I laughed that I've taken these tests so many times and I get something different I have gotten every house except for Slytherin. Every time I test it, I'm something different. So, we actually did the test at wizardmore.com, and it oddly enough had almost identical questions.
Oh yeah, the questions were almost the same.
It's almost like they
Yeah.
stole the questions
They stole the questions and
from-
then added a few more.
and added a few more. And on that one, I wound up in Hufflepuff, which is another one I commonly get. But so I thought that was kind of funny. Did y'all take that one as well?
Yes.
Yes, but I got
Slytherin
Ravenclaw
on that
again
one.
on that
You
one.
did.
That's
Okay.
one where I got Slytherin, and I feel like maybe because it asked just a few more questions.
It was able to narrow it down a little
Mhm,
differently. Yeah. And so then the last one that we took was one that Amber found, and it was on BuzzFeed. And that one, it was completely different questions. And BuzzFeed has a lot of Harry Potter quizzes on there.
Mhm.
But the one that we took was the Accurate AF Harry
So
Potter
that one
sorting.
actually did have one question that was similar to
Similar,
the other test,
right.
and it was, what animal would you have as your pet?
Oh,
And
yes.
all of them said
But
cat, owl, or a toad.
Yeah, it didn't give any of the other possibilities as a...
There are no other animals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
that
I'm like,
was-
those were all the 3 animals that
Right.
the Gryffindor kids had.
Right.
So I thought
Yeah,
that was
so
kinda
I
weird.
thought it was kind of weird also, yeah. So, but with that one, I wound up being in Gryffindor. So, I get something different every time. And I think it just depends on the questions. It really does. So
it's interesting because your Enneagram you're a 1, correct?
I believe so.
And so
It's been a while.
I feel like a
I could probably
Hufflepuff would be a 1. Hard work, patience, loyalty, and fair play.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like that's definitely a 1.
Yes, I am a type 1. So I am the
reformer.
perfectionist. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or reformer. Yeah, depending on which quiz you take. And so, yes, I that is kind of interesting. I wonder, that would be interesting to
And what
sit
were
and
you,
apply
Amber?
the Enneagram.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing
to
right
the
now. What
Hufflepuff-
were you,
okay,
Amber?
to the-
Girl, wasn't I an 8?
I think you were.
A leader?
I'm a leader. I'm a 1 and a leader
Wait, hold on.
and a thinker. A 1, a 5, and an 8. So see that's where I get mixed up and on my Enneagram tests, they were so close to each other that I could
Yeah.
have been any one of those.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that
And
I
that's why you
could-
never get Slytherin because those are all 1, 5,
reformer-
and 8. Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, and Ravenclaw are all
Right
clearly
there.
1, 5s, and 8s.
Yeah.
Maybe I was a 7.
The 7 is the generalist enthusiast. I believe you
Oh,
are. A
yes,
7.
that was- you
Yeah,
were one of
yeah,
those.
I was a 7.
I also have a 4, which is the artist or individualist.
Mhm.
That one, the 4, the 5, and the 8 are all tied. And
okay.
then I had a 2-point difference in those 3 with the
Maybe
reformer.
a 7 and a 9. Maybe that's what.
Peacemaker.
Yeah, or maybe the helper. I know definitely I was the 7.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
So, a helper, I feel like that would be Well, that's Gryffindor, helping others.
Yes.
Right. Status seeker is totally Slytherin.
Slytherin.
I was like thinking about that.
The 4 could also be Slytherin, but it could also be Gryffindor, because Gryffindor are
Right.
resourceful as well, right?
Yes, they're individualists.
Right.
So
Yeah, I think number 4 would be more Gryffindor, but yeah, also could
But
be
no,
Slytherin.
because it could be Slytherin, because that's one of their things, is that they
And number 5 probably Ravenclaw.
yes,
a thinker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
loyalist, Gryffindor.
yeah, Gryffindor.
Well,
Well-
Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff is loyalty.
Oh, right, that's right.
Yeah.
Let's see, Hufflepuff would also be a 7.
The enthusiast.
So
Fun.
interestingly, I feel like 4s and 7s are neither here nor there because,
They could be multiple things. Yeah.
yes,
That's why I
Yeah.
say not all
So,
of them
like-
are like specifically that. They could
Mhm.
be, yeah.
Number
Yeah.
8 could be Gryffindor or Ravenclaw or Slytherin.
leaders, yeah, because that's the leader
Yeah.
challenger. I feel like
And then number 9 would be Hufflepuff.
Mm-hmm.
fair play, Hufflepuff. Yep,
Yeah.
interesting, huh?
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. I do. So, and what did you get on the BuzzFeed quiz, Kristen?
I got Slytherin. So on the BuzzFeed, it actually gives you like a percentage. So I got
Right.
32% Slytherin, 31% Ravenclaw, 26 Gryffindor, and 11 Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
And so I'll read you kind of what it says. It says your Slytherin ambition combined with a typically Ravenclaw-esque thirst for wisdom means you are destined to go far in life. People often consider you to be aloof and unapproachable, and they may actually be right. As your passion for knowledge and success far outweighs your need for close relationships. For you, true friendships are rare, but you are smart enough to hold on to those you deem worthy of your affection. Your slight compatibility with Gryffindor House hints at an underlying desire for adventure that may manifest itself in a love of travel or trying new things.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I don't remember seeing the percentages when I did it, but I may not have taken the exact same quiz, because I actually did the quiz like 2 weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I just wrote down that I was in Gryffindor, and I don't have
Mhm.
any details, and I don't remember anything
So,
about
yeah,
it.
I believe that I got Gryffindor in the BuzzFeed one. And but I would say, like, if I were to choose my own house, like which one I would want to go in, I would definitely would want to be a Hufflepuff.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you, Cindy?
I don't know. I mean, like, I always want to wind up in Gryffindor because they're my heroes.
Yeah.
But and I like that idea of being up to the challenge and doing what's right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and all those kind of things. But also, I like the idea of Ravenclaw as well, because I do value intelligence
Mhm.
and
I would
think
say,
that would
yeah,
be
that's probably something that I value above all. But, like, in my mind, I'm like the laid back, chill.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just peace, love, and chicken grease.
And see, I'm like, I would
Chicken
want to
grease,
go in
Yeah.
Slytherin because I feel like that's where you network. That's where the go-getters are, the entrepreneurs, and
uh-huh.
the people that are going to, like, be
Go somewhere
big
in this world.
and be big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like Voldemort.
I know,
Well,
right?
But just
But-
like, because your Enneagram is the social,
Mm-hmm.
what is it called? I can't remember.
So when we did the Enneagram, I got my score was 25 points on artist individualist, and then I tied 21 with status seeker
Status seeker.
and
that's
21 points with leader.
Right.
So
But
3
those-
and 8.
that
And I felt like
fits that-
both of those outweigh
Right. And those fit in with
Because
Slytherin. Yeah.
To me, a leader is a status.
Yes.
And
It
so
is. Because a
I'm
status seeker
drawn
would
to
want to
that.
be the leader. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that is
Yeah.
like so me. And I was like doing something one day and I was like, oh my God, I'm a status seeker person. I am the artist person, but I'm very much so the status seeker, achiever, and that is, I think, also my block on my creativity because I have,
you can't do it
imposter
unless you
syndrome, and I feel like, it's not worth doing that creativity unless it's
you
going to
could do it.
take me somewhere.
Right.
And it's going to
You
turn
could do it
around
really
and
well.
be
Yeah.
either profitable or make me recognized or someone
Right.
else will like it.
Right. Right.
So I'm like, wow.
You don't create for the sake of creating or for the
Yeah.
the expression that you get to.
I create because I want to make something that's beautiful that other people admire.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting, huh? So weird.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I'm totally Slytherin, and I'm totally a 3.
Well, you are a Scorpio.
I am, and that makes sense too. I feel like you could probably break down all of the astrology signs into the houses as well.
Oh, yeah, probably so. Yeah.
And it probably goes Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, and it probably goes around like that.
And I'm thinking that the fire signs are the Gryffindors. I really am.
Oh,
I'm thinking Aries.
Interesting.
Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Gryffindor, fiery.
I don't
Adventurous?
Well, yes, I am those things, but I'm also like the brainy person, like Ravenclaw.
But you also have moon signs, and you have rising signs, and other things that affect you. So yeah.
And then there's just like so
and I
many.
think that's what makes Gryffindor, and that's like you said, like why Hermione was in Gryffindor, because yeah, she's smart and she valued that above all else. But
she was
so much more brave.
Yes. And willing to help and wanting to help.
That's why
because
she
that's
was always around Ron and Harry because they
the
were
first
always
one of the
messing up.
first things she did was
Help
fix Harry's glasses.
Yeah.
Right?
You're right.
So
yeah.
she was helping.
And let Ron know that he had a smudge on his face.
Uh-huh.
You're right.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I would say she has a bit of OCD as well.
So what were you saying? Okay, so you said the fire signs would be Gryffindor.
I think so.
Do you think the water signs are Slytherin? What are the other water signs?
Well, so we have Cancer,
okay.
Pisces, and Scorpio.
Cancer is that's Gemini.
See, that's where I'm not, maybe not all the fire, maybe it's not by the signs because I feel like Gemini would be Slytherin.
Yeah.
I do. So I'm not sure there. But then I think of like Hufflepuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think of Taurus. Kind of, I don't know. It's really hard. That's really hard.
I put you on the spot.
You did. I hadn't thought it through yet, but I'm kind of, I don't know.
Do you ever do the sorting hat with your friends and I bet you they would be blah 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 blah. Or your family members. Like my brother Steven, what house would he be in?
Ooh. Oh, he would definitely be a Ravenclaw.
Oh, yeah, true. What about Ashley? My cousin Ashley.
What are the qualities of Slytherin again?
Ambition, cunningness, heritage, and resourcefulness.
She's very interested in heritage.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for her it would be between Hufflepuff and Slytherin. I'm not sure which though. I think.
What about you, Amber? What would Jason be?
Gryffindor. For sure, Gryffindor.
And I think Travis for
Mark,
sure Gryffindor.
My husband Mark would have been a Hufflepuff. I think he would have been a Hufflepuff.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing I always think it's really interesting with Harry Potter School of Wizardry is that there is no fine arts.
Mm-hmm.
There was no fine arts. There was singing with the toads. Remember they were singing with the toads, that one? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right, though. No magical portraiture or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I wonder if maybe J.K. Rowling didn't think too deep about, like, the fine arts. 'Cause when you think about any school, like, they have, science,
but do they
literature,
teach
mathematics.
But do they teach fine arts in primary or primary or secondary education in Great Britain?
Oh, well, I would think they would.
That's
I don't know.
I don't know anything about the school system.
Yeah, you'd think they would have like theater, musical instruments,
But maybe
like,
those are private taught things because
Right.
you think about
right. But I don't know because you're right. Like the paintings and magical portraiture, whatever you called it. I mean, somebody had to do that, and that was a very big part of Harry Potter
was the portraits that moved and
yeah,
talked
and even like the newspaper had pictures that moved. So someone has to learn how to do that somewhere, right?
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
There really wasn't in the houses and the sorting hats. There isn't anything for. I mean, there's resourcefulness, but that's as close as it gets to creativity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is interesting. Yeah.
It's like there's a whole house missing. Maybe you go to one of the other schools for that,
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I never thought about it. They just
Sport. Well, they had Quidditch, but that was the only sport.
That was the only sport.
And only a handful of them, played that. That was the only physical exercise or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, your broom class, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Well, I mean, Quidditch wasn't really a class. It was just like a
extracurricular activity.
Extracurricular.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't really have any extracurricular classes like a regular high school would. They just had, well,
they took had
everything
classes.
was like magic,
right?
Related anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess art technically like
like health class. Do you think they had a health class where they learned about things that like spells and potions that made you healthier or
well, it's potions class.
Yeah,
well, true, yeah.
Which is like chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean like if you think about the books, they lived separately from Muggles, the regular humans. Yeah. So, and they did completely different things, dressed a completely different way.
This is true.
They lived like underground or secret charmed houses. They didn't go out. Like they had their own grocery stores, their own hospitals, and everything. So, like maybe art was a pastime in the wizarding world, but it wasn't a specific class. Kind of like Quidditch that was taught. It was just like or chess even. It was just something that people did. And when they went to school, they didn't go to school to learn math. They went to school to learn potions, and things like that. So maybe they didn't need math or whatever in the wizarding world.
Right. Maybe
in this youth novel, that's what allures the children is, ooh, I can go to school and I don't have to take math class. Yeah.
Or maybe they did have those classes, they just didn't mention them. Because, like wizarding kids have to learn how to write and speak and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Very cool. So if you could choose any, like if you're Patronus, let's say you're Patronus, if you could choose any animal to be your Patronus, what would you choose to be your Patronus? Or do you have like an animal that is your familiar or whatever?
What's really funny is that all throughout my childhood, I loved unicorns and Pegasus.
Right.
Pegasi.
Pegasus.
Pegasuses. And
So flying horses, pretty much.
yes.
Fancy extinct, never existed horses.
existing horses. I always loved them, and I would have said, had you asked me that 15, 20 years ago, I would have said a unicorn, hands down. But now it's almost like everybody's unicorn is not as, unique as it used to be. They're everywhere you go. There's unicorn this and unicorn that. And it's kind of like, oh man, it's not as fun anymore because it's not I'm not the weird girl that likes unicorns anymore. I'm just.
So what would it be now?
I don't know. I do love me some dogs. So that's probably the most unmagical animal, which I think is interesting because dogs are man's best friend.
Sirius turns into a dog.
I know, right?
So that's magical.
Yeah. So I think I would probably pick a dog, and that's what I got on that one website. I got a Mastiff.
Oh, yeah.
Which is interesting because I'm a small dog kind of girl, but I do like big dogs.
You got the
too.
biggest
I
dog.
love dogs.
I got the biggest dog there is as your Patronus.
Yeah.
Right?
So I actually was really excited when I got the Mastiff. I was like, okay.
I think, well, because one of my familiar animals right now is the llama, because I've had this thing with llamas for a long time. And so I think a llama would be a good one for me. But I like dog or wolf.
I'm sorry, I'm making a funny face because I'm just imagining a llama trying to scare away a Death Eater.
Spit.
Yeah, I know.
It's not very intimidating.
Like you think the field mouse is?
I know that either.
I'm like, what's a field mouse going to scare? An elephant?
Well, the question was any
elephant,
animal, right? So
now, an elephant would be a really cool Patronus as well.
Oh, that would be cool.
Right. I think elephants are really cool.
I think a dragon would be a cool one.
Oh, yeah.
A Chinese dragon or mythical, Middle Earth type dragon too.
What about you, Amber?
Oh, well, definitely my spirit animal is a sloth, but that wouldn't scare away the...
And it moves too slow.
Could you imagine, waving your wand and then the sloth is your Patronus is, slowly developing in the sky?
See, that'd be funny.
That would be funny.
I don't know, I guess because... I love cats. Then it would be some kind of big cat, like a lion or something.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
or a leopard.
Panther.
A panther would be
cool. A panther,
definitely,
because I have black cats.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, my second thought was a bunny, but that's not scary either. It's just fast.
It would be fun with my little field mouse. They'd just be hopping around in the grass.
Yeah. Hop really fast.
All right.
Oh, so here's some questions, and maybe Amber because you are currently you just restarted the Harry Potter series, and
it's my favorite time of the year, and
it's perfect time for that.
I always either like to read the books or watch the movies around this time of year.
Right.
And so my question is, because I didn't remember this in the book, did they talk about the origin of the hat?
Oh my gosh, yes, they do.
Okay.
And I can't remember what the origin is.
Mm-hmm. Because we know the houses are the founders of the school.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are, the four founders, and that was what they valued when they
that's why
the school.
Right.
Right. And the reason. So, and in Harry Potter series, there's other schools, right?
Right.
And there are.
And maybe those other schools value other things too, right?
Exactly. And that's what I was thinking. I forget what the girls' school was called, but maybe they have
the one in France.
Okay, so the hat originated when the other founders of Hogwarts enchanted it to sort students into their houses
So
after
it's an
after the
enchanted hat.
original people died.
Oh,
Got it.
But yeah, and it doesn't mention how it goes at the other schools, even
Mm-hmm.
even in the book. But we know that there are other schools. I
we
think
don't even know
there's
if
like
there are other
7
houses at the other
Yeah,
schools.
true.
We
I
don't
think
know.
there's
Exactly.
like 7 major schools or something like that. I forgot. I'll have to look that up. But I know like in the books they mention at least a couple of them because they show up for the Tri-Wizard tournament.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The one in France, Beaubottoms, Beaubotons or something like
Yeah.
that. And
Madam, whatever. Yeah.
yeah. And Durmstrang, the one in Germany, right?
Is it Germany or is it
Scandinavia.
I thought
Russia?
it was like Russia.
I thought it was
Russia. Oh, okay.
I don't remember.
And then
but-
from the Fantastic Beast, we know there's one in America.
right.
But I'm not really sure where the other ones are
Uh,
located. I don't think they're not really
She
mentioned
hasn't
ever.
dived into that yet.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, that would be an interesting
Mm-hmm.
set of stories for her to do. Is
Yeah,
like
'cause you could just
take every
branch
continent
off.
and you
Yeah.
know she could do you know an Asian school and a South American school and an African
Mhm.
school and
Yeah, J.K. Rowling, get on it. That's a missed opportunity.
right,
Absolutely,
right.
yeah.
The American school, you know, who knows?
Yeah,
Mhm.
why hasn't she? Because you
Well,
know,
She's not
it's-
American, she's British, so
right, and so she's doing this all
That's
from
our
a
entitled Americanisms
I
right
know.
there.
Why don't you
Yeah.
have one for America? Why isn't there an American school at the Tri-Wizard tournament? They're treating us like the redheaded stepchild again. Everybody hates America.
We're no longer allowed because we split off from
From Great Britain.
the colonies.
yeah,
Those
right.
Those uppity colonists.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're
Anyways.
yeah, we're digressing very
Right.
badly here, so maybe we need to wrap this one up.
For
This
sure.
was just a really fun, short. We just thought it would kind of be fun to see what houses we
Yeah, what
belong to,
Hogwarts house we are.
If you have any other good tests that you think are good, that have anything to do with Hogwarts or Harry Potter, I'd love to hear about it. And you can put that up on our Facebook chat page, MMC Chat. And you can find us on the web at www.modernmusings.net. And you can also listen to the podcast there, read our blogs, and lots of different stuff. And we hope you will add your perspective. We'd
Yeah.
love to hear about it.
Definitely.
All right. So next week we are talking about.
Well, we are talking about astronomy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, National STEM Day is coming up. So we're
Okay.
going to be talking about astronomy next
Oh,
week.
Exciting. One of
Not
my
to be
favorite.
confused with astrology, because
which
we
we've
did
already done that.
astrology.
Yeah, we've done
Yes, we have done that
astrology.
one.
Finally getting
yeah.
around to astronomy.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So come with your star charts and let's make it happen.
Yeah. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.